Usman sir, heads of departments of our college, Salim sir, Mudla miss, Namshi sir, Asif sir, Anana miss, academic coordinator, Faisal Shabab sir, joint coordinators and members of IQAC, and today's seminar presenter, Sarigama miss, and all the faculties of our college. As all we know that the higher education sector has undergoes tremendous and innovative changes with regard to role of teacher, teaching methodologies, learning methods, etc. To become a successful in higher education industry, we should adopt new changes, skills, and innovative methodologies in the learning and teaching process. As a part of uplifting and upgrading the new teaching methodologies, we here commence a new platform in the name of Academic Webinar Series under Internal Quality Assurance Cell of MIC College. Through this series, the faculties can present different serious discussion on various topics which is presently relevant to our academic community. As a starting day of our webinar series, the first academic seminar paper should be presented by Mrs.Sarigama Miss, the Faculty of PG Department of Political Science, on the topic of liberty, freedom, and COVID-19 pandemic. A request to all faculty members to present interesting and informative papers in upcoming series of academic seminar. It is a great pleasure for me to welcome every one of you to our academic webinar series organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell of MIC College. I am very much pleased to welcome our chief guest and inaugurator of today's webinar series, Professor Imbichikoya sir, an eminent academician, administrator, and former principal of our college, and presently working as a principal of SAFI Institute of Advanced Studies. I extend hearty welcome to Professor Imbichikoya sir to our webinar series. I extend a hearty welcome to our respected principal, Dr. M. Usman sir, who always motivated all of us to introduce new academic behaviors. I also extend a warm welcome to the heads of different departments of our college, such as Salim sir, Mudla miss, Namshi sir, Hasib sir, and Anna miss. And I also welcome academic coordinator, Faisal Shabab sir, IQAC members, and all faculty colleagues of our college and my dear students. Now I invite our principal, Dr. Usman sir, for presidential address. Thank you. Have a good day.
Good afternoon, everybody. My esteemed friend and the chief guest of this great afternoon, Professor P.Imbichikoya sir, former principal of Farook College Autonomous, who is also a NAAC peer team member, a great educationist and administrator, a former member of the syndicate of the Central University of Kerala, and who is also a great social worker, who is a good member of the Managed Control Board of Kerala. Mr. Bashir, the coordinator of IQAC, other members of the IQAC, heads of departments, and my other faculty members, beloved students, and my dear friends. It is a moment of great pride for us this afternoon to have the online launching of our webinar series, faculty webinar series for this year. Actually, we had planned it as an offline activity last year itself, and we had a few presentations also. But today, instead of waiting for things to be normal, we are launching the series because otherwise this academic year our teachers will be in difficulty for presentation and so on. Actually, this is a very important concept that we have introduced in our college, which of course I had introduced earlier also in our college, which proved to be very successful. There are three important objectives for this program, this faculty webinar or seminar. First one, this platform is taken as a common arena or a common platform for the teachers, all the teachers to come together and to discuss, share, and debate on academic matters which are actually beyond the purview of the normal academics of the curriculum or the college. So teachers can have different subjects. Many teachers are interested in subjects other than those they teach in the classroom. They have some research taking place, or there are some articles written by them, and so on. So they can discuss these things among ourselves so that they will get very good comments and they can enrich themselves, and we can also enrich. And we also consider it as a platform where principal and faculty members and the PG students can sit together and discuss on these issues. Secondly, by this program, we propose to enhance the presentation skill of our teachers. So in that context, it is a capacity building program also, because by introducing topics and discussing and debating and so on, our teachers will be enriching their presentation skill, and we expect that every teacher of the college will be presenting at least one paper in academic year in that way. And we have prepared a roster for that. IQAC is preparing a roster for that, so that in a single day we may have 4 or 5 teachers presenting short presentations in that way. So presentation skills and writing skill will improve by this program. Thirdly, the research skill and research aptitude of our teachers has to be enhanced, because the paper which they present here or the presentation that they make here, that can be developed into a full-fledged paper at a later stage by more research on the basis of the comments given by our own peer members, our own faculty members and friends. They can develop this paper into a full paper and they can publish elsewhere. And we also want to publish this as a working paper. The paper presented in this webinar series will be published as a working paper by the college itself, and the teacher can build upon that, so that after 2 or 3 months, this will be becoming a full paper which can be published in a good journal in that way. So these are the 3 important objectives of this program, and I hope that all the faculty members will cooperate with this program. And today we have a presentation by Mrs.Sarigama R.Nair from Asst.Professor, Department of Political Science, PG Department of Political Science. I'm very happy that she has voluntarily came forward for presentation of this topic. And of course, she has taken an important topic also, a very relevant topic also, the liberty, freedom, and COVID-19 pandemic. Because we had a lot of discussions earlier on the impact of COVID. I myself had presented a few seminars on impact of COVID on some other sectors and so on. So one important issue that come to my mind is that we have several macro level studies of COVID. For example, how COVID affect the national economy, how COVID affect the education in that way. But what is needed is micro level studies are required on the impact of COVID on employment in different sectors, impact of COVID on different income groups, social groups, and so on. So I hope that our PG students and UG students will take care of this aspect, and they will do project on some of these issues, so that we can have micro level studies related to COVID pandemic and its impact. Because the history of the world is now going to be redrawn pre-COVID and post-COVID. So the post-COVID world order will be totally different from, or expected to be totally different from, the pre-COVID world order in that way. So we require a lot of micro-level studies related to post-COVID, the impact of the COVID and so on. And of course, I am eagerly waiting for the presentation, because she has taken it as a liberty, freedom, and COVID-19. Usually we understand liberty and freedom are synonymous. We use liberty and freedom as synonymous. But I think there is a difference between liberty and freedom from a social context or social point of view. So I hope that Sarigama will highlight those issues in that way. And we have got the right person to do these things, launching of this by Professor Imbichikoya sir. As I mentioned already, he's a great academician, And he has also done a lot of academic experiments, a person with an immense experience, a rich experience in the academic field, being the principal of Farook College. He led the college into autonomous status, and he is serving as a NAAC peer team member. And he has visited several colleges and universities across India as well as outside India. And he has immense experience in the field. So we have got the right person to officially launch our program. And on behalf of the college, on behalf of myself, personal behalf, I once again extend you a warm welcome, sir. So with these words, I conclude my presidential remarks and I request Prof.E.P.Imbichikoya sir to officially inaugurate this webinar, faculty webinar series. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Jai Hind. Sir, please.
Okay, good afternoon, one and all. The most respected Usman sir, the presenter of today's program, Mrs.Sarigama R.Nair, Mr. Abdul Rashid P., the IQAC coordinator and the vice principal of MIC, Mr. Faisal Shabab, the academic coordinator and nodal officer, the other head of the departments of various disciplines of NAAC, and my dear friends. It gives me immense pleasure and privilege to be in this particular platform to address you as a part of this program organized for empowering the teachers. First of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Usman sir for this type of organizing this type of programs for the empowerment and for the enrichment of the faculty. Usman sir is a very close to me. There are many friends. Everybody will have a number of friends, but we each other share our friendship, and we were the colleagues at Farook College. Then we were the colleagues in the principal's platform, and we were traveled together to different places. And I learned much from Usman sir because he is not only an academician, he is not only an academic administrator, but he is a very visionary person, especially in the field of the education and also in the field of economics. So I first of all congratulate Dr. Usman sir for introducing this program as a continuous program, as a series of programs to empower the teachers of the MIC college. I also visited MIC months back to attend a meeting of the principals, but that was during this COVID pandemic. The classes were not there, but we met together. The principals of the various colleges met in this MIC campus, and he's also taking the initiative to develop, to increase the quality and also the quantity of the academic activities in your college. First of all, I would like to say that no institution is higher than its teachers. Whenever we talk about an institution, we focus on the teachers, especially when we were the students. We consider an institution as a best institution only on the basis of the capacity of the teachers. If there are teachers, good number of teachers with good knowledge, and they can also transact their business, or they can present their skill or present their knowledge in a better way, which can be understood by the students well. Such type of teachers are the best teachers, and such type of institutions where these type of deliberations or discussions or teachings are done will be considered as a best institute. But we know that is today the people are not ready to compromise the quality, whether it is in the field of education or whatever may be the field, whether it is health or economy, wherever may be. Nobody is ready to compromise the quality. The quality in the sense that if you are taking into consideration the educational scenario, a college, for example, a college must have good infrastructure facility. When we were the students, we were not bothered about, or our parents were not bothered about the facilities in our schools or facilities in our colleges. But they were highly focusing on the teaching capacity of the teachers. So the best colleges and the best teachers of those times were known for the teachers' ability. When we talk about a college, we will pinpoint certain teachers, professors. They were the best professors or best teachers of those times. But nowadays, the teachers are creating the leaders in various disciplines. Instead of just teaching in a class, instead of just lecturing a content in a class, they have to create the leaders in various disciplines. Our community or the society needs such type of leaders who can take the leadership role in the society. There are many people who complete their degree program, post-graduation, PhD, etc. But they may not be good for nothing. But we must inculcate some values in the mind of such people. We should create some qualities. We should create the leadership qualities, and we should also empower them with the soft skill facilities. Otherwise, they cannot survive in the coming generation. And we know that is when we were the students, we give less importance to the infrastructure facilities, including the building, furniture, and everything. Even in our home, we were not concerned about the infrastructure facilities. We were least addressed areas were like the kitchen or bathroom, etc. were very least addressed by the family. But nowadays, those areas are given high importance. Similarly, in an institution, we are concentrating on the infrastructure facilities, expanding the facilities, especially to overcome this COVID pandemic. We are introducing the online active facilities, and for which we are actually empowering or strengthening the infrastructure facilities in our institution. So, if we consider the quality of institution, the teacher's quality is more important. Teachers should be competent, not only to handle the classroom. Handling the classroom is also a good job for a teacher nowadays, especially during this online period. The teachers have to concentrate more on content creation and also the delivery through this online platforms. The content creation is not so simple as you did before COVID, because just reading a content may be the content creation. Just reading from the various books or maybe the internet, that may be enough. But the content creation now is actually creating in the form of maybe in the form of the PowerPoint presentations or the PDF or maybe the multi-level or maybe the both audio, video facilities are incorporated together to create a content. Similarly, that should be transmitted through an online platform. So both are important. The content is important, at the same time the platform or our expertise in using this facility is also most important nowadays. And we can say that a quality institution is an institution where the teachers are playing a very important role. And the students and parents are searching around for such institutions where good academics are going on, where there is better facility and where there is good teachers are handling the students well, and where there is good discipline, etc. So the students and parents are searching around all the institutions around their domicile area, and they're also searching outside the state and outside the country also for their education. And this faculty seminar organized by this college under the leadership of Dr. Usman is a good option for giving opportunity to the teachers to develop ourselves. As we know, the teachers should develop ourselves. Our pedagogical skill, our presentation skill is to be high in front of the students. There are students who have better quality of presentation skill. They know how to present well, sometimes more than a teacher. But we know that is the students are expecting more from the teachers. There is no difference between a teacher and a student, only of a fraction of a minute. There is a teacher is different from a student. all are having the facilities to gather the information. Almost all the resources used by the teachers are used by the students. But because of our experience in the field, because of our expertise in the field for the so many years, we will gather more information than the students can have from the same resources we are using. And similarly, the presentation skill that is to be developed by the teacher. So in this seminar or in this series, the teachers are getting empowered because they are getting the content of the various disciplines, because the teachers of the various departments are participating in this webinar or in this the seminar series, and they are actually presenting the different issues. The current issues are normally discussed in this type of platform along with their own subjects. So the students are getting the facility to attend in the open classes where the different subjects are taught by the teachers of the various departments. But the teachers are not getting the opportunity to participate in the classroom of the other teachers of the various disciplines. But by participating in this teacher webinar or the faculty seminars, the teachers of the various departments are getting an opportunity to get an insight into the various subjects uh, introduced or are presented by the teachers of the various departments. Secondly, the quality of the teacher who is presenting the topic will definitely increase. When he or she get a chance to present a paper in a national or international seminars or webinars, this experience will be an advantage for him or her. Because if a person is going to a classroom, it is entirely different from attending a webinar or seminar. If I am asked to give a note or a lecture on a current topic or anything, sometimes I may not be much strong in that subject because I am not referring to the current issues. But I may be very strong in my subject which I am dealing in my classrooms. But when we have to present before a particular audience who are not our regular students or regular or the friends, definitely we will prepare more and we will grab the information from the various resources, various sources of informations, and definitely we will be more empowered how to collect the data, from where the data is to be collected, how it is to be arranged in a sequence, and how it is to be presented before our faculty members. So this experience will definitely empower a teacher to be a good speaker, not only in this academic area, but in any other area also. So definitely, similarly, the teachers can also do their researches in the various disciplines, and it can be presented before the teachers or the same colleges. As rightly pointed out by Usman sir, the teachers can do the researches. The researchers, it's actually there is no any separate wing for researchers. The teachers can do the researches in the topics which are actually dealt by them. But a topic will become a research when it is developing or it is coming to a new information, a new knowledge. The creation of the knowledge is actually the research. But we are actually teaching the class in the classroom the knowledge which are actually created by somebody. But we have to create the knowledge through the researchers. So in order to do the research, you need not join for the PhD or MPhil, etc. But you can do the researches in your own discipline, in your home, without affiliated to any other institution or organizations. Nowadays, the ranking agencies and the accreditation agencies are more concerned about the students who got admission in higher education institutions and also placed in high salaried posts. So here the teachers can do a very important role in providing the better facilities or ambience to the students by way of this type of informations, because they need more information which are not available in the textbooks or which are not discussed in the classrooms. So these informations are to be grabbed by the teachers from the various sources, and that is to be presented before the students in the classroom or after the classroom. So we have to create the leaders who can lead the society in future. So here the role of the teacher is very high. The teachers have to take more responsibility to create the leaders, teachers have to take more responsibility to do the researches and to uh, 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 initiate the researchers in our departments and to motivate the students to do the researches. I understand that MIC has a very promising teachers with the leadership of Usman sir. The competency of the teachers are to be enhanced, for which this type of programs are must. Sometimes the students may say that the teacher is always speaking in English, he is not talking any word in Malayalam. Some students may say that the teacher is not using Malayalam, he is always speaking English, etc. So there is a difference of opinion among the students. But since the English is the medium of instruction, the teachers are supposed to teach in English. If there is any difficulty for the student to understand the meaning of a particular phrase or maybe a word, it can be supported by Malayalam language. So all these to improve our communication skill and to improve the communication skill of the students also, the teachers have to play a very important role. The communication skill is to be important. Along with the communication skill, all other soft skills are to be improved in the students. Especially in the present scenario, there is less opportunity in the government to get a job. But the multinational companies are providing the jobs to the candidates on the basis of their capacity, on the basis of their skill, not only on the basis of the marks or the grade score in their examinations. This competency is to be built within our campus, for which you also have to develop this type of programs among the students. Students also give an opportunity to present the topics and also this type of seminars or webinars, and this will definitely improve their quality. You can, as a turn, you can give this turn to the different students at the different days. Maybe on every Friday or on every Monday, you can give 1 hour or 2 hours for the presentation of the students. Definitely, their capacity will be improved. So that is also a must for the teacher. And similarly, the teachers also have to try for PhD. Nowadays, even in the self-financing colleges, especially in the training colleges, now the net is become more compulsory. And it is going to be compulsory in the case of the self-financing institution also. And in the near future, the PhD will be compulsory for even the self-financing institutions. And if a teacher is doing PhD, definitely his caliber, his capacity will be increased. So I request that all the teachers will take this as an opportunity to do the researches along with the teaching career when you are working in the MIC. And you have to publish good number of publications in the books and journals with a high impact factor, for which this type of programs or the faculty seminars will definitely help you to have more number of presentations and more number of publications. You have to participate in the international and national webinars and conferences, in which it will be more helpful to you to increase your competence. And you attend the maximum number of faculty development program, through which you will get more, will be strengthened or will be empowered with more techniques of teaching, and also the different changes taking place in the field of the education. Especially the new education policy is giving more opportunity to certain areas where it is actually will be more giving more confusion, or it will be more giving less opportunity to the educational institutions in future. So anyway, I am very much thankful to Dr. Usman sir and all the faculty members of MIC College for giving an opportunity to interact with you. And today I am very much busy because of many, I think this is my fifth meeting that I am attending, and one more meeting is scheduled at 3 o'clock. I have to attend that particular meeting. So I'm very much sorry. I want to remain in this meeting for a long time. Anyway, after inaugurating a session, I will come back to this particular platform and I will attend your seminar for a little time. So with your words, let me conclude by inaugurating this program. And thank you very much.
So thank you, Mr. Sir, for your kind words. Okay. You can be at your own time. You can have your own time, sir. No problem. Okay. we will go ahead with our presentation and discussion and all those things. Okay. Thank you for your precious time with us. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir.
Now
Thank you very
I
much.
okay. Now I call upon Mrs. Sarigama Nair to have the presentation on liberty, freedom, and COVID-19 pandemic. So, Ms. Sarigama Nair, please. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Respected Principal Dr. M. Usman, inaugurator of faculty webinar series, Professor P.Imbichikoya, sir. My dear colleagues, students from MIC Arts and Science College, and academicians, teachers, and students from various institutions. Thank you to all for being here to discuss with the topic liberty, freedom, and COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 pandemic is affecting two, 200 and, sir, wait, sir, excuse me. Okay, COVID-19 pandemic is affecting 218 countries and territories around the world. It is defining a global health crisis of our time and greatest challenge we have faced since Second World War. Since its emergence in Asia, late last year, the virus has spread to every continent except Antarctica. We have now reached the tragic milestone of 1 million deaths, and the human family is suffering under an almost intolerable burden of loss. But the pandemic is much more than a health crisis. It is also an unprecedented socio-economic and political crisis also. Every day people are losing their jobs and income, and the International Labour Organization estimates that 400 million jobs could be lost. Democratic governments around the world have taken dramatic steps to halt or curtail the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. The topic of liberty, freedom, and COVID-19 pandemic is relevant because in each and every seconds of our life is restricted in different ways during the lockdown and unlockdown period. Uh, Let me share my screen for the detailed analysis of the topic.
Okay. Okay. Please come in.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Sarigama. It is okay. Okay now.
Okay, hope you can see the screen. Here,
Okay, you can.
okay, thanks. Here I put forward a question that how subtle difference between these two big ideas changed our world. The term liberty and freedom, uh, uh, excuse me, sir. The terms liberty and freedom have become cliches in modern political parlance because these words are invoked so much by politicians and their meanings are almost synonymous and used interchangeably. That's a confusing matter and can be dangerous because their definitions are actually quite different. Liberty is predominantly an external construct, and on the other hand, freedom is predominantly an internal construct. That's a question that citizens across the world are facing in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic, the differences between freedom and liberty. In other words, if you don't want to go along with the will of the people or freedom, then the state can compel you to do so, even if that means trampling your individual rights and responsibilities. Liberty is sacrificed for the sake of common good. That means liberty is sacrificed for the sake of freedom. Quarantine and other measures for controlling epidemic and pandemic diseases has always been controversial because such strategies raise political, ethical, and socio-economic issues and require a careful balance between public interest and individual rights or individual liberty. In a globalized world, that is becoming ever more vulnerable to communicable diseases, a historical perspective can help to clarify the use of implications of a still valid public health strategy. So we can move the next slide. History of epidemic and pandemic. A pandemic is an outbreak of global proportions. It happens when infections due to a bacteria or virus becomes capable of spreading widely and rapidly. The disease behind a pandemic can cause severe illness and spread easily from one person to the next one. A pandemic affects a higher number of people and can be more deadly than epidemic. Epidemic remains limited to one city, region, or country, but it expresses beyond the national borders and possibly worldwide. We can see the epidemic. One of the epidemic is the plague. 1347 to 1352 period. Organized institutional responses to disease control began during the plague epidemic of 1347 to 1352 period. The plague was initially spread by sailors, rats, and cargo arriving in city-states like Sicily from eastern Mediterranean. It quickly spread throughout the Italy. From Italy, it crossed many countries like Alps, Austria, Central Europe, etc. In this situation, medicine was important and they provide social distance and quarantine and repressive police forces, etc. These affected individual liberty of people at that time. The next pandemic diseases is cholera. By the 18th century, the appearance of yellow fever in Mediterranean parts of France, Spain, Italy forced governments to introduce rules involving the use of quarantine. During the first wave of cholera outbreak, these strategies adopted by government or health officials are essentially those that had been used against plague. At European ports, ships were barred entry if they had an license, that is unclean licenses. Ships were barred entry if they had unclean licenses. In cities, authorities adopted social intervention and the traditional health tools. Health officials hinted the free to movement of prostitutes and beggars who were considered carrier of diseases. The travelers who had contact with infected persons or who come from a place where cholera was present were strictly quarantined. During the terrible cholera pandemic of 1835 to 1836, and the next pandemic is happened, influenza pandemic during 1968 to 1969. The scenario was repeated during the influenza A H3N2 into pandemic during 1968 to 1969, the third and mildest influenza pandemic of the 20th century. The virus was first detected in Hong Kong in early 1968 and was introduced into United States in September 1960. In the winter of this period, that is 1968 to 69, the virus spread around the world. The effect was limited and there were no specific containment measures at that time. The next, excuse me. Okay, the next pandemic is happened in 1968 to 1969, influenza pandemic. Okay, they already discussed. Okay, next pandemic is influenza Asian flu pandemic occurred in 1957 to 1958 period. During the second influenza pandemic of the 20th century, Asian flu pandemic 1957 to 1958. Uh, in this situation, some countries implemented measures to control the spread of diseases. The illness was generally milder than that caused by the 1918 influenza, but the global situation is different. Understanding of influenza had advanced greatly. The agent, the pathogenic agent of the disease had been identified in 1933, and vaccines for seasonal epidemics were available. Then drugs were available to treat the complications of the diseases. In addition, the World Health Organization had implemented a global influenza surveillance network also to control measures varied country to country. That's the important matter. WHO implemented a global influenza surveillance network after the influenza Asian flu pandemic 1958, after 1958. The next pandemic is influenza pandemic during 1968 to 69. The scenario was repeated during the influenza H3N2 pandemic uh, occurred in 1968-69. This is the third and mildest influenza pandemic of 20th century. The virus was first detected in Hong Kong in early 1968 and was introduced in the United States in September 1968. In the winter of 1968-69, the virus spread around the world. The effect was limited and there were no specific containment measures. The next one is SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome. A new chapter in the history of quarantine opened in the early 21st century by the emergence of SARS, which originated in China in 2003. Yes, 2003. It quickly became a global threat because of its rapid transmission and high mortality rate, and because protective immunity in the general public, effective antiviral drugs and vaccines. The strategies varied from among the country to country. Then in Canada, public health authorities asked to a person who might have been exposed to SARS to voluntary quarantine themselves. In China, police organized checkpoints on roads and even installed web cameras in private homes too. Public health officials in some areas resorted to repressive police measures using laws with extremely severe punishments against those who violated quarantine period. In some countries, the suspension of personal liberty provided the opportunity to using special laws to stop political opposition. Then the next slide describes the quarantine versus liberty. According to Khalil Gibran, life without liberty is like a body without spirit. Article 21 of the Constitution states that no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to a procedure established by law. Quarantine and other measures, other healthy measures taken by health department or government being a limitation on free movement and assembly, then it violates these fundamental rights also. But public officials in some areas resorted the repressive police measures using laws. These are sometimes violates the fundamental rights of the people. However, the cultural and social context different from that in previous countries or country to country. The increasing use of quarantine and isolation conflicted with the affirmation of citizens' right and growing sentiments of personal freedom. Constitutional validity of quarantine. Overall, the COVID-19 pandemic has put the trade-off between civil liberties and public health in the spotlight. According to the survey from US, the vast majority of citizens around the world are willing to sacrifice at least some of their civil liberties for improved public health. All citizens of India having a fundamental right to assemble peacefully and to move freely throughout the territory of India, guaranteed under Article 19 respectively. The Epidemic Disease Act 1897 and the National Disaster Management Act 2005 and also supported this statement. In the concluding part, I put forward one matter is that the pandemic is much more than a health crisis. It also an unprecedented socio-economic and political crisis also. This is the time a question relevant that would you willing to give up your individual rights for the sake of the common good, or would you willing to give up your liberty for the sake of common good? Desperate times breed desperate measures. Quarantine across the globe is proving to the best in the containment of coronavirus diseases. It might be interfering with our liberty, but such a reasonable restriction is even permissible under our constitution. In the interest of general public and order, it is also our duty as a citizen to cooperate with the government and help to stop this outbreak. The important is that better administration from authority and better laws from a strong laws from authority is important. Where there is no law, there is no freedom. So, to prevent the introduction of the disease to new areas and to reduce human to human transmission, the country have taken multiple public health measures such as lockdown, quarantine, etc. So, we all are sacrifice our liberty for the sake of common good, that is sake of freedom. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarigama. Thank you for your presentation, nice presentation. Okay. So I congratulate you for taking the pain to prepare the slides and also to highlight the history of the pandemic across the countries. And today's discussion, the most important part, I think, is related to the last part of your presentation. I appreciate that last part very much. And I think there is a lot of things to be studied and explored further in that. That is basically quarantine versus liberty. Because you have defined liberty as well as freedom. And you have told us the difference between liberty and freedom. One is internal and the other is external. Judging from that point of view, how we can approach quarantine and liberty together, the conflict between quarantine and liberty. We have discussed that, and I think that is a new information for me also. I never thought of those things like that. Secondly, the trade-off between private freedom and public health. Because we are restricting our private freedom by quarantine measures for what? For improving the public health or for preventing the pandemic in that way, spread of the pandemic. So in terms of the language of, I would say economics, it is called a trade-off, TRADEOFF, trade-off. The trade-off between private freedom and public health is also a very important thing to be explored further. And I think you can develop this into a full-fledged paper by introducing more inputs into that and also developing some of these important issues which are highlighted by you in that way. Now we call upon, we will have a few words of felicitation as well as their reflections because they can also comment on the presentation of Sarigama and they can also have their felicitation words. Now I request Mr. Mohammed Salim, HOD Department of English, to have a few words. Salim, please. Salim, you are here, please. Okay, Mohammed Salim is seen, he is here. His screen presence is here. Okay, then what about Ms. Mridula? Mridula, Head of the Department of Mass Communication. Mridula, Miss. Okay. Now I request Mridula, Miss, to have a few words of felicitation.
Hello, sir. Sir, I can't speak.
Teacher. Adwaiti. Okay. 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 No problem. Okay. Now Mr. Namshir. Namshir is online. Namshir is online. Namshir from the Department of Political Science. Namshir is not seen. Okay. No problem. Okay. Now let me see. Mr. Asif is here. Asif. Mr. Asif. Okay. Asif has been here. Asif. Okay, now I call upon Mrs. Anana. Anana, please.
Hello.
Come on.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Okay.
On behalf of the Department of Computer Science, first of all, I wish you all the very best to the faculty webinar series coordinated by IQAC of our college. And I also congratulate my friend Sarigama R.Nair. It was really a good presentation. Thank you all. Thank you.
Okay. I think it is now around 3:30. It is time to stop. Mr. Faisal Shabab is here. He was here. I think he may be he has left to have the vote of thanks. Okay. Faisal was there. Salim, you can't hear me. Salim has left the place. Physically, I think Salim is not present. But online, his presence is shown. Okay. Shafiq is here. Okay. Shiabuddin. Where is Subhash? Subhash here. Subhash was there. Okay. Now Shafiq. Shafiq, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I can hear. Okay. Now I think Faisal has left because of some admission related issues. He may be in the office. So one of you can just propose the vote of thanks. So this we have to be more serious about these things. Otherwise, there is no use for these type of programs. We are spending. She has taken it in a very serious manner. She has taken it. The same way, we also have to consider it as a serious business, academic business, and in that way. So that is very important. Yes. Now, what other members present here of the IQAC? Senira is here. Senira is on. Yeah. Okay. Now, you call upon Mr. Shafiq. Shafiq, you can propose the vote of thanks. Shafiq?
Okay, sir. Okay, okay.
Okay.
Respected principal and the presenter Sarigama Imbichikoya, sir, and all my dear colleagues. നമ്മളെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം ഇത് can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, you can proceed. You can proceed. We can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, 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 okay. തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും ഇത് ഒരു അഭിമാനത്തിന്റെ നിമിഷമാണ്. നമ്മുടെ കൂട്ടത്തിൽ നിന്നും ഇമ്പിച്ചിക്കോയ സാർ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ നമ്മളൊക്കെ കുട്ടികളെ പഠിപ്പിക്കുക എന്നതിനേക്കാൾ അപ്പുറത്തേക്ക് നമ്മളൊരു സ്റ്റുഡൻ്റ് ആയിക്കൊണ്ട് PG ക്ലാസ്സുകളിൽ ഇരുന്നു എന്നല്ലാതെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സാഹചര്യം ഉണ്ടായിട്ടില്ല. ഇന്ന് സരിഗമ മിസ് വളരെ മനോഹരമായിക്കൊണ്ട് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ ടോപ്പിക് ലിബർട്ടിയുമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് കോവിഡിന്റെ ഈ സാഹചര്യത്തിൽ വളരെ മനോഹരമായിട്ട് മിസ് ക്ലാസ് എടുത്തു. തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും വ്യത്യസ്തമായിട്ട് വിഷയങ്ങളെ കുറിച്ച് നമുക്ക് പഠിക്കുവാൻ നമുക്കിടയിൽ തന്നെ നമ്മളെ ഒരുമിച്ച് ഇരുന്ന പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോമിൽ നമുക്ക് കൂടണം. ഇത് കൃത്യമായിട്ട് സംഘടിപ്പിച്ചിട്ടുള്ള IQACന്റെ മെമ്പേഴ്സ്, ടീച്ചർ റഷീദ് സർ, നമ്മുടെ പ്രിൻസിപ്പൽ സർ, സരിഗമ മിസ്, ഈ ചടങ്ങ് ഔപചാരികമായിട്ട് ഉദ്ഘാടനം ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള ഇമ്പിച്ചിക്കോയ സർ, എല്ലാവർക്കും IQAC ടീമിന്റെ പേരിലും നമ്മുടെ സ്റ്റാഫിന്റെ പേരിലും കൃത്യമായിട്ടുള്ള നന്ദി അറിയിക്കുന്നു. അതോടൊപ്പം നമുക്ക് ഓരോ മാസങ്ങളിലും ഇതുപോലെ പ്രോഗ്രാംസ് കണ്ടക്ട് ചെയ്യണം. അത് നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും ഒരുമിച്ച് നിന്ന് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും നടക്കും. എല്ലാവർക്കും ഇതൊരു അനുഭവമായിരിക്കും, പുതുപുത്തൻ അനുഭവമായിരിക്കും എന്ന് ഉറപ്പാണ്. തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും സരിഗമ മിസ്സിനെ ഈ സമയത്ത് പ്രത്യേകം അഭിനന്ദിക്കുന്നു. മിസ്സിന്റെ ഈ ഒരു ഹെൽത്ത് ഇഷ്യൂസിലും മിസ് കൃത്യമായിട്ട് അത് നല്ല രീതിയിൽ അവതരിപ്പിച്ചു. മിസ്സിന് കൃത്യമായ നന്ദി അറിയിക്കുന്നു. അത് ഈ പരിപാടിയിൽ പങ്കെടുത്തിട്ടുള്ള എല്ലാ സ്റ്റാഫ് മെമ്പേഴ്സും എല്ലാവർക്കും നന്ദി അറിയിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ഈ ചടങ്ങ് അവസാനിപ്പിച്ചതായി അറിയിക്കും. താങ്ക് യു.
Okay, thank you all. So, thank you all. Thank you very much.